Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Water Bearer podcast. If this is your first time, then welcome. Hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, we have some returning people to the podcast this evening. And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel today. And also, you can catch the drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, tonight's episode is a little bittersweet because this is the last episode of the season. I can't believe we're already here. But yes, this is the final episode. And I am very, very excited to have this guest on with me tonight, Karla Baptiste. And she is a friend that I've met. Actually, it's been about 8 years now, I think, when we first met at a book event actually in Houston at my hometown. So she is gracing us with her presence this evening. She is an author, speaker. Um, I know that at one point she was in real estate. I'll have to bring her, ask her if she's still doing that. She just wears so many hats, and I just really admire her. And just watching her is such an inspiration. You can follow her on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Karla Living. And that's Karla with a K, and I'll have that information in the description of the video. And then on Facebook at Karla Living 2, and that's the number 2. And then her website is karlaliving.com. We'll also get into her book during the show as well. So you make sure you go ahead and check that out too. If you haven't, you probably have already heard of Karla. I'm giving this introduction. You probably already know who she is. But if you haven't, make sure you go check out Dig in Your Heels. Check out her book, and it is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and anywhere books are sold. So without further ado, I will go ahead and pop her in. Hello. Hey, Karla. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. It is definitely my pleasure. I'm so glad you agreed to it. I've been, as we were kind of talking a little bit off air, I've been trying to match up the episodes with the signs. And I was like, okay, Aries, Aries, who am I going to get? And I was like, oh, Karla. I was like, yep.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And is there, before we dive in, is there anything else that you wanted to share with the viewers and listeners, just introduction wise, about yourself?
No, I think you
Okay.
got it all, but you are very receptive to figure out that I'm an Aries, okay? Figured out I'm an
Yeah.
Aries. You got Karla with the K. You pronounced my
Yeah.
last name correctly.
I was trying. I'm a
I
stickler
know
for that
you
because
have that attention to detail, so this is good.
thank you. Thank you. I try because I think we both have those last names that are easily misspelled. Because I know
Mhm.
I grew up with people, and still even to this day, mispronouncing my last name, and they'll say Harley X, Harlos, or they'll say Carlos Harlos, and then they say, "Oh, it rhymes with your first name," which it kind of does. But I've heard everything under the
You have
sun.
to pronounce it for me, so I'm not one of those.
Oh, okay. So it's Harlow. So
That's
basically,
what I
I
thought.
yeah, it's a
Mhm.
Harlow, just like Papado. Yeah,
Mhm.
that same pronunciation.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
French. Oh,
hmm
that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
Yep, that's it. That's it. So yeah, so I get so we've already spilled the beans that you are an Aries. So if you don't mind letting the viewers and listeners know what day and month your birthday is on.
April 13th. And I
April
was born
13th.
on Friday the 13th.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. My mom
Oh.
said I was a boy up until Friday the 13th when I was born. She was sure I had a boy. And I
Not
was
up until
number
then.
3. Girl number 3.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. So you're number 3. So where do you fall in your sibling line as far
So
as
I
oldest,
am
youngest,
number
or
3 of 4.
3 or 4? Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Now, I'm not sure how far you are into astrology. Some of this I kind of picked up along the way as I've been doing this podcast. But do you know your rising and your
Mhm.
So what is your rising sign and your moon sign?
I am a Leo rising and a Virgo moon.
I'm a Leo rising too.
Are you?
And crazy,
Wow.
I'm a Leo rising and a Leo moon.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
There's a lot of Leo in there. Okay.
yeah. Uh-huh. And so it kind of and I just found that out actually just doing this podcast as I was kind of researching. And it's funny because um my grandfather on my mom's side, he was a Leo. I have two aunts that are Leos, and I've always kind of clicked well with them.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was really shocked to find that out. I was like, wow, they both the rising and the moon were both Leo and uh two fixed signs. So when I found that out, I thought, oh, okay, that probably plays into my stubbornness because I've been told I'm very stubborn. So
And that
Aquarius,
communication thing we were talking about.
yeah, that's true. Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I'm thinking too, okay, so we're both people that are putting ourselves out there, which is kind of a Leo thing, the
It
attention
is.
kind of.
Uh-huh.
So you shouldn't be very shy then at all.
But I am. I really am. Now, I
And I
will
know you
say,
told me that before we came on, but I'm
uh-huh.
like, that shouldn't be. You better
You're
get
right.
that little shyness, that little fear
Right.
of whatever.
I guess I need to dig into that Leo
Mhm.
side, huh?
Yes, embrace the
Yeah.
Leo.
On one-on-one situations, like once I'm comfortable, I'm not shy. But if it's like a crowd of people or having to speak in front of people, then I am.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
I'm not very shy. I don't I don't
Yeah.
really have
You
that.
never struck me as shy because even when I first met you, you made me feel like, you never met a stranger. Like, you could just,
You're
yeah,
right.
in a good way though. In a
Yeah,
good way.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I came over to your guys' table. I was like, "Look at these
Yeah,
handsome
you did.
brothers over here. What do they do?
Oh, thank you.
Let me go check them
You
out."
look really nice yourself. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, we won't say the name of that event, but it wasn't. Whew.
Giving publicity.
Yeah, it was the best part of that event was connections like this,
Yes, it
meeting
was, because
you.
that's what we had time to do was connect with each other.
Right.
There
And I
weren't
think,
any book readers, buyers, anybody coming around purchasing, so it was yeah,
yeah,
us
yeah.
talking
And
to each other, exchanging books.
hmm
That
yeah.
was fun. I mean, I like exchanging books with authors.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
it's just like I think people don't realize as authors, um, some of the things that we have to go through. When you do those events, you have to pay for gas. I'm from Houston, like I mentioned before we started rolling the camera. So I saved a little bit of money because I stayed at home with my parents, but
Yeah.
hotel stay or if you don't know anybody in the city, and then the vendor fee, which a lot of these vendor fees, I mean, they're upwards of $200 sometimes, kind
Mhm.
of like the average
Yeah.
to get a table, and it's hard out here if
You
you're
need to
if
sell
you're
some books to
independent.
break even.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't come looking looky loo, buy something.
Right, exactly. Right.
But you know what's interesting too about authors and people don't realize is they don't realize how hard it is to sell your book. Like they just think
Oh, it is.
that it's like I wrote this book and it's going to be a bestseller. And I was talking to someone about that who's pretty popular, nationally recognized and has all these connections. And she's like, I wrote this book and I thought it was going to be so like bestseller and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, you have to work. Like it's a full
Yeah,
time job.
it is. It is. And it's funny because I often wonder if I wasn't in the corporate world, how much further along could I be
Hmm.
with my books?
If you could just focus on that.
But I mean, depending on people to buy, I mean, hey, I might be homeless trying to wait for
Yeah.
folks to. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's such a gamble, and then there's so much money that you have to put into it. And a lot of people they'll tell me, "Oh, well, you've written, X amount of books now," and it's. I always tell people, to me, um, the first book is the easiest book to sell, and that one's not even easy to sell.
Hmm.
But every time that I've put out a book after that, it's gotten. harder to some degree, and it would seem
Mm,
like it's easier. Now I do still have like the core people and stuff that support,
mhm.
but it's hard. I mean, especially because for me, I don't want to exhaust the same family and friends, and they're like, "Oh, here you come with another
Yeah.
book." So, so the hardest thing I think I've had to accept is, um, my family and friends isn't really my audience. If they
Mhm.
support, that's great, but
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get those strangers and people that I've never um, met before or
Yeah.
crossed paths with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Takes a
yeah,
lot of marketing and advertising. You know what I mean?
yes,
It's
yes.
not just gonna word of mouth, like somebody's gonna read it and you think it's gonna blow up. Like even being on the Today Show, I thought for
Yes,
sure.
congratulations.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is awesome. I saw it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sell all these books. Then I looked at my sales. I said, what?
What?
Are you kidding
but but you know what? Stuff like that, I feel like that that opportunity is still so awesome
good
because
exposure,
yeah,
and
the
you can use it
exposure.
for you can get a lot of mileage out of it. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? So
Yeah.
it
And
was
people will see it for years to come. And so,
mhm,
it's always going to be there. And
yep,
I've read something one time, I can't remember who coined this term, but um, they were saying like when you're marketing anything, that you have to put it in people's face. I think it's like 7 times
mhm. That
before
makes
they make that purchase decision. And I've even thought about that, like even things that are top of mind for me to buy. I might not get it at the moment because of,
mhm,
budget or whatever, different things. Or maybe, something else caught my attention. And then it's like, okay, now after I've seen it a few times, and yeah, let me go ahead and buy this.
yep, that's
Hmm.
true.
Yeah.
So true. So tell me about an Aquarius man, because I'm
Oh,
telling you, I
uh-oh.
don't like to deal with
Okay.
them.
So like we talked about on the before the camera started, and I'll so hopefully by this being the last episode, hopefully you all know the origin of this show, how it started. But just to give a quick synopsis of that again, um I was on another podcast, and one of our last episodes we talked about, how I've been in relationships before and I've been accused of being emotionally distant to some degree. And I was watching this TikTok video about 2 weeks after we wrapped up that episode. And this lady was talking about how she had been with a lot of Aquarius men. She loved them. So I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we're good. Like, I'm
Mm.
thinking, yeah, she's saying all the nice things about Aquarius. She's like, oh, it's one flaw though. And so I'm waiting. I'm like, what is it? And she says they are basically hard to read emotionally. And I was like, what? And so when I heard that, it was so funny to me. And so um I just almost immediately thought, oh, this needs to be a podcast, because I didn't realize that I never equated the two, that maybe because I'm an Aquarius, that's the reason why. But I would say just, some quick things about it. Aquarius people, they hate being told what to do, for sure. That's like one of the quickest ways to like set us off. And I'm the type of person really, and I'm kind of a little scared to say this on air because I don't want nobody to get any ideas, but I can be easily manipulated if you say it the right way.
Mm.
And where I get caught up in is a lot of times the delivery of certain messages. And if I feel like that delivery is off and you like, well, you need to do this and da 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 da, then no.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
so that's why I kind of shut down. And then creativity is one thing that I've heard a lot about Aquarians. Love being different, which I definitely think that's true, because even something as simple as buying tennis shoes and things like that, I've never really been into the Air Force Ones or the Jordans, and I like those shoes,
Mhm,
but I think the reason, and I think that's probably the Aquarius in me, I don't want something that I'm gonna see 10 other guys wearing,
mhm.
walking down the street. So
Yeah.
most of my tennis shoes, like if I wear them, I'll get compliments and people will say, "Oh, like I've never seen those before," or "Those are like cool. Like, where'd you get them?" So thriving on individuality, I would say.
Mhm.
Um, I guess the emotional distance is probably a trait too. And I think for me, for Aquarius people, and I was saying this on one of the other episodes, I think to ourselves, we're one of the most emotional signs because we actually do go through a lot of emotions internally. I think Aquarius people just really have a hard time getting what's in out to the other person, especially in a relationship like a romantic relationship.
Mhm.
Um, and for me, I'm kind of chill, calm. Like for the most part, I'm kind of even keel. And I think another thing too is that sometimes works against me in relationships because I feel like a lot of times it's almost that whole old adage of a lot of ladies like the bad guy, they gravitate towards the bad guy. So you're
Mhm.
never gonna know I mean, even if it's something toxic, you're gonna know how they feel, you
Yeah.
know. So with me, I'll say what I feel, but because I'm saying it in such a calm way, I've even had a couple of women tell me in relationships in the past, well, I just did XYZ because I wanted to push your buttons to see how far I could go. And I'm like, why would anybody do that? Like, no.
Oh, because you didn't know if you cared.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because
Mhm.
I'm type of person too. If I'm with you, I'm with you. And so I'm not really like I have insecurities and jealousies, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a jealous guy in the sense of if you tell me, hey, it's girls' night or whatever, and we're going out, we're gonna go drinking, and I'll see you at some point tonight, then I'm not gonna start texting you at 10 o'clock and like, oh, where you at? And I'm not, and sometimes that's in the past that's been perceived as, oh, you don't care.
Mhm.
And to me, I'm like, we're both grown adults. Like, if you trust me, I trust you. Like, why do I
Been
need
there,
to?
done that.
Yeah, I'm not,
My
and
20s,
especially at
that was
this phase
like
in life.
yes, exactly. In my 20s, that
Yeah,
was cute.
right. Now, nah.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I would
Mm-mm.
say, yeah, that's Aquarius. Humanitarians, I've heard that a few times that we're like the humanitarian sign of the zodiac.
Hmm.
Um, uh, yeah, I would say just the individuality, um, creativity. I've heard some people say that our Aquarius, when they get angry, it's a bit like a Gemini. It's almost like two sides,
Oh.
and that is it. A couple of, I would say, there have been a few people that have experienced that. But I don't really like to let that side show too much. I try to keep him under wraps. But yeah, I'm the type of person that it takes a lot to really make me upset. Um, and I feel like and this is probably so ugly of me to say, but I feel like by the time I really go off on somebody, it's usually well deserved, I feel,
Mhm, mhm.
because at this point I've told you, hey, I don't like this. But again, it's usually in a calm way. So I think sometimes I think my struggle just in life has been sometimes in relationships, even friendships, just communicating things that I don't like in a way that's not so chill, because I think
Mhm.
sometimes the delivery is everything, like I
Yeah,
kind of mentioned earlier. And I feel like sometimes when you do deliver things in a really calm way, then people don't take the message like they should.
yeah.
Um, so, I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes you just kind of got to be a little ugly, I guess, for people to get.
Yes, but
I
the
mean, I don't.
thing was when you were talking to me about not being emotionally attached or you were being emotionally detached, and
Mhm.
I was thinking about your last book, and I heard the title. The last one you wrote was the 11 things we didn't say,
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that book was,
which
yeah.
sounded so like emotionally intelligent to me that I just thought you
Yeah.
were one of those men that expressed themselves and was a
No.
good communicator. And then when you tell me this, I'm like, what? Are you serious? You're not what I thought from the title of that book?
Now, I have grown, and actually because of that book and as a result of that book, I have kind of grown into that.
Mm,
But that book was for those that don't know, it was about my divorce. And so part of the reason I think that I ended up getting a divorce was because we didn't argue, and I felt like that was I think we both felt that that was a positive trait, like, oh, we don't really argue. And now I know that wasn't really healthy, because what ends up happening is
mm.
both parties have things that they're not really
Bottling
communicating, or not, yeah, bottling up. And then by the time you tell this person that it's something they're doing that you don't like, they're looking at you like, what? Well, why didn't you tell me this, 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Mhm.
So, and that was me for 11 years. We were together, married and dating for 11 years. And so the things that we
You
never
had
said.
something to say for each year
Hmm?
on purpose? Did you have 11 things for each year? Did you do
Oh,
that on purpose?
so it's kind of a two-part title. So it was 11 is like the main title of the book, and then the things we never said is kind of like the subtitle. So basically, kind of meaning
Oh.
that we got to the end, basically, I think, because of the things that we didn't say, or didn't
Mhm,
say soon enough.
mhm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was telling you, I don't think I've ever dated an Aquarius man.
Really?
What's
So,
the birth? What's the
oh,
range
the
on it?
dates. So Aquarius is January 20th to, I believe, it's February. It's either February 18th or the 19th. I think it's the 19th.
Yeah, no, I
So yeah,
haven't.
or even Aquarius friends. Do you have any? Or maybe not.
Oh, my best friend is an Aquarius. Now that you think about it, we can
Hey, look.
yes, like she's not all into it like I am, but yeah, she's
But
an
she's an
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, but my ex-husband was a Virgo. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. He was the only Virgo I dated. I did date a Gemini who I thought was that was interesting. He was a
Oh,
little
how
bit.
did that go? I was gonna say how that worked.
I learned about the Gemini two sides thing, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. He's a little bit of a player.
Uh-oh. Oh no, that's not good.
Aren't they players?
I've heard that before,
I
that they
think
can be.
I think I heard something about them being players. So I was always looking up stuff astrologically when I dated him because I couldn't understand him.
Yeah.
And I just like, let me figure this out. But yeah, so I'm an Aries
Yes, that's right.
and we are the first sign in the zodiac. So
That's
people
right.
say that we are leaders, natural born leaders.
Uh-huh.
I would
I
say
would
that's
agree.
true. Independent.
Mhm.
I'm very, very independent. And I don't know. I think there's other people out there that are kind of independent. So I don't know how much that plays into the Aries thing or not. But yeah, I'm very independent. Um, I'm very much of a self-starter, ambitious. I think
Okay.
we're very misunderstood, actually, the Aries, because people think we're real self-centered. But
Hmm.
I don't think that it's selfishness and self-centeredness.
Uh,
That's what
really, it's what people think of Aries, you
yes,
think?
yes,
Huh.
yes. And I don't call it selfishness. I don't know what I would call it. I'm not selfish at all, but I can be selfish. The thing is that I give a lot, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm a giver, giver,
I see that.
giver. But I think once people see me do something for myself, I feel like that shouldn't be me being selfish. That's just me. You know what I mean? Now they're
Yeah.
doing self care and stuff now. Now they want to Now they want to take care of themselves. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Good. We
And
were already on that, you know.
like right, it's right from the beginning of time, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
I think, you know, I sometimes I kind of cringe a little bit when I hear people get into this whole selfishness debate because I was watching something and I can't remember who said it, and they were saying that you have to be a little selfish, and they compared it to when you're on an airplane and they're giving you the whole safety spiel.
mhm.
And I never thought of it that way, but that's the best explanation I've
Yeah.
heard of self-care is that you have to put your
Mhm.
own mask on before you
Yeah.
try to help somebody else.
Can't help anybody else if you're dead, you
Yeah,
know.
right, right,
So
right.
it makes sense. It seems wrong, you know.
Yeah, it does.
It seems
Uh-huh, but
very
it makes
wrong
sense.
with that whole oxygen on you before you help somebody, but yeah,
Yeah, it
totally is
does.
makes sense. But I think too is that some people are like, you have a lot. I think they mistake that you have a lot and you're supposed to share it with them. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's like, no, I earned this and this is mine.
Right.
You know, even like loaning things, loaning money and things like that. You have it to give because you earned it and you want to keep it. You
Right.
know, but it's kind of like that Aries thing where like, you're selfish. And it's like, no, I'm not selfish. This
Right.
I earned this. This is mine and I can enjoy this.
That's right. That's right. It's for
You can
you.
go earn it too and you can enjoy what you earn. Does that sound
Yes.
selfish?
No, no,
Okay.
and it not to me. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, and maybe because we're kind of in the same boat, because I feel the same way too. I don't know if it's an Aquarius thing too with Aries. Oh, and one thing I neglected to do at the beginning, I'll let people know a few famous Aries too. Because some people I understand, some people may not be well versed in the zodiac, and so I feel like sometimes when you give examples of famous people, then they
Hmm.
kind of go, "Oh, okay, well then
Uh-huh.
maybe I kind of know how they act." So,
Yeah.
a famous Aquarian, I usually give one every show, is Rosa Parks. Actually, she and I share the same birthday. She was born on February 4th.
Wow.
Yep. Mhm.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so she's an Aquarius, and then some famous Aries. Let's see, there's a few. I know uh Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey,
Mm-hmm.
I think Big Sean is one, the rapper.
Oh wow.
Uh there's a few other people too, but those are a few offhand
Those are
as
some
far as
interesting ones because the ones I've always seen, they're kind of boring. I'm like, I'm not bored.
oh, Lady Gaga. I think she's one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she's an Aries too. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm. Yeah, so there's definitely some really when I was looking at the celebrity list, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive because almost everybody on that list, they not only excel, but they're like, pretty much kind of like the top of their area, which I
Hmm.
definitely feel like Aries is somebody that if you need that push, or I feel
Hmm.
like Aries is gonna be that friend that's gonna call you out and be like, hey, you need to get it together. You need to do this, and
Yeah. Yeah, we are. And I don't know how it's always received because, we're kind of like, why are you down? Like, why are you like depressed? Like, get it
yeah, yeah,
together.
like right, right. Yeah, and even if I get upset in the moment, I can appreciate that because I would much rather that than have a situation where you see that I'm going down the wrong path and you just like, okay, I'm just gonna let him keep going. You
Yeah.
know, I'd rather just be mad and get over it versus, somebody not saying anything.
Hmm.
Um, Now, also, when I was doing my research, so it was a few other things I found about Aries. So I want
Yes.
to
Tell
have
me.
you
Tell me.
confirm or
Let me
deny.
see. Yes.
So now this one, and I'm using my grandmother. She's like my prime Aries example because she's the person that I is closest to that is an Aries. Um, she was known for, and I think that part of this is probably her, not so much Aries. She was known for holding a grudge. And I mean, she's passed on now, but my mom and we still laugh about that to this day because she had this way of, she didn't have to say much, but
Mhm.
she would look at you a certain way, and it was like, okay, you knew if you were in the trash pile or not. So, would you say that's true of Aries? Do you hold grudges, or do you think that
I
Aries?
try not to, only because of my faith, that I learned not to hold on to stuff, and then it's not
Right,
healthy either. And
true,
I'm a cancer survivor, so I try to let stuff go.
right,
But I
yeah,
had to learn to let things go. I probably, if not for that, I probably would love to get some vengeance and
on
hold
some
on to
folks, right?
yeah.
Okay,
But
but
yeah, I don't know. I could still be holding on to some things.
huh?
I don't know.
Okay, hey, who know?
But
I
don't
was
we
just
all
curious.
hold a little bit of a grudge sometimes? I think
Eh,
it's normal.
I think so too. I
And
think
I'm an
that
Aries, so maybe I just, it's what I do, and I just think it makes me nervous. Normal? Like, yeah, I
right.
don't, you know.
I have to. I will agree with you on that. I have to. Um, Sometimes, not in all situations, but I've had to do the work of releasing those feelings because,
Mhm.
yeah, to your point, it is in certain situations, it is, or it seems easier to just hold a grudge
Yeah.
against somebody. Hmm.
I'm good to forgive, but I'm not gonna forget. And I'm good at the boundaries thing. And
Hmm.
so you see what
Me
I'm
too.
saying? That could be the grudge, but it's boundaries is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you learn from that situation, so you're like,
Boundaries.
I'm not going to be in that
Yeah.
again, right?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that
Yes.
what you're supposed to do? Have some boundaries?
Hey, that's what I think.
Yeah, but I married my ex-husband twice. So,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
so I think I didn't hold that grudge,
Hey, so you must not be much of a grudge holder, I would think.
but I did have, it was right before I was diagnosed with breast cancer, we got remarried. I thought I was dying. So I think it was PTSD is what I always say. Why I
Oh,
married
okay.
him. Yeah, because
Okay.
had I not had that, I would not have married him. I know I wouldn't have married him again
Really? Okay. Okay. Huh.
at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's honorable that, well, for one, that you're able to admit that and then even see it, because I think sometimes friends or family or just, people close to us, they'll try to say, "Oh, well, why can't you see this or can't admit this or can't admit that?" And it's like,
Mhm.
you can't admit what you don't even see.
Mhm.
So I think that's really big that you even, well, for one, admitted it and then even able to see it. I think it's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
Huh. Yeah, you're welcome. um, oh, now I think this plays into what we were talking about earlier. So another thing I read about Aries is they hate slow movers.
Yes,
So that's true.
absolutely.
You
Yes.
hate slow moving people.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I kind
And
of do
it's
too.
been hard for me since I've been injured. I had a spinal cord injury, everyone. So I cannot walk on my own right now. So it's hard because I have caregivers, and what they say is that I'm bossy, which is another Aries thing.
Oh, okay,
And
right, right,
so it's like they're moving too slow. They're supposed to be helping me do something. They're getting me some water. They're cooking something. I'm like, okay, it's been
like
like
come
my
on, right,
eggs for an hour the other day. I was like, okay, I can go in there and scramble these eggs myself.
right, right. You still waiting?
Like,
Like, come on,
you're supposed to be helping me. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, totally, totally, totally. And one other thing, my mom does this. She likes to talk about what she has to do,
oh,
and she talks about it. And
now is
she
your mom
talks,
an Aries too?
no, she's a Scorpio,
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
she talks about what she has to do all the time without doing it. So I'm like, Mom, I don't want to hear again how you need
Oh,
to wash your clothes. Like, just do it.
I need the next thing I need to hear is that washing machine going.
Yeah.
Right.
You just told me you're gonna write a book, like she talks forever about. She's gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book.
Right.
Write your book. Write the book. Don't talk
Just
about it.
get
Give
on with
it.
it.
Yes,
Right. Hey, hey. And that's why I
that's
say
that's got to be an Aries thing.
and that's why I think that everybody needs that Aries, and it's that I know you all are fire sign too, so I guess it's that kind of fiery attitude. But I think a Aries is somebody that's always good to have on your team
Mm-hmm.
because they are gonna let you know when, hey, you're not stepping up, you're out of line, you are
Mm-hmm.
slacking.
Yeah.
They're gonna let you know.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the selfishness can also come in because people feel like, in the arrogance, they say,
Mm.
because I
Hmm.
think they feel like you think you're all that. Like everybody's not like you, and you think you know everything, and that whole thing is very Aries. And so
Mm.
they feel
Hmm.
like, I guess it would be condescending, kind of like we're looking down on people because they're not where we are. Because, like you say, we want to move fast and you're moving slow, or,
Right. Hmm.
so we feel like, I think that's where they feel like you're self centered or whatever, because they're like, we're not like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So let us be us. You
Right.
don't really know how to tell us what to do.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So one question I have for you, I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit already. Um, your book, and just your whole testimony, and then just getting that out. Do you feel like maybe you being an Aries made you made it easier for one to share your testimony? And do you also think, I guess as a second part to that question, do you think that it gave you the determination that you have and the tenacity that you have to, you know, to keep going?
I do.
You do? You think
Do.
it plays a part in it? Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the book and being determined to write the book and finish the book and the purpose of the book, it was just like,
Hmm.
if I can do something, I want to do it. Like everybody else, they're not doing it, and I need
Hmm.
to get this done. Like I didn't feel like there was anyone telling the young Black woman survivor's story, and I
Right.
felt like we have a disparity in mortality rates, and
Hmm.
we're dying younger, we're dying more often, we're diagnosed younger and at a later stage, and it's like I didn't know that when
Hmm.
I got diagnosed. I'm like, I need to make sure this information gets out there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. So it's like, so I need to do it. We're
Yep.
not going to be the ones who say, somebody needs to fix this. You
Right.
know,
Without being the fixer or
yeah, we're
part of
going
the
to fix it.
solution.
Like, okay, yeah. So I
Yeah.
felt like, I do feel like being the Aries helped me get it done, because we're not
Hmm.
ones to look back and have regrets. If we want to do,
No,
like you say,
you do it.
I don't want to talk about it. I get tired of hearing myself say, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then finally it's like, look, we can't
Let's
keep
just
talking
do
about
it.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think
Okay.
it play into it. Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm sorry, I neglected to say the title because I wanted to make sure everyone knows. So I think I mentioned it in the beginning, but in case if I didn't,
Mhm.
the book is called Digging Your Heels. So you all need to check it out. And I really want to take this time to really give you your props and give you your flowers, so to speak, now because of something that you said about young Black girls looking up and not seeing these types of stories being told. Because at that time, when I first met you, to be honest, I think you were, if not the first, definitely one of the first that I saw like Black women sharing that type of testimony. And I thought that was so
Mm.
powerful. Now it's, I don't want to say the popular thing to do, but I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people have done, everybody, people are, I almost
Sharing.
think sometimes they're oversharing a little bit.
Everybody share.
Everything.
It can be good and bad.
Right, right. I'm gonna share.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share what I ate for breakfast, lunch, or dinner,
Hmm.
and they're sharing everything. So it's just like this
Everything.
information overload.
Yeah.
But I really think that you are part of the group that ushered in that era where now people do feel comfortable to tell their testimony and share things. So I just, I just think that's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Carlos.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I really do believe that for sure.
Yeah. And you know how it is with, like, now there's a new generation of breast cancer, young breast
Hmm.
cancer survivors. And so Yeah, it's kind of like a progression because there was a lady who founded Sisters Network before me, and when she was diagnosed in the 1990s,
Mhm.
nobody was talking about it. So I looked up to
Oh,
her, and
wow.
for that time, it was like there was no internet. you know,
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
wasn't
even
Instagram. I mean, every time a
Mhm.
new app comes out, like the world changes. Like
Yeah.
if you don't realize it, you've had your head in the ground because
Mhm.
that Instagram changed things. And now TikTok
Yeah. And
has
it's
totally changed things. In fact, Instagram's trying to be TikTok. you know,
yeah, they are. Yeah, with the
and
reels and
Facebook's trying to be
yeah.
everybody.
Right, right. Anytime and now LinkedIn, which I hate this. LinkedIn
What?
has that you can love or clap
Oh
on a
yeah, now you
post and
can do all these things,
like
celebrate and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's like which is cool and I use them. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. Certain
yeah.
posts I'll be
They
like, oh,
needed
that's
some other, and I think they need another something too. They're missing, I think they're missing an emotion on LinkedIn.
mhm.
Because when I go through it, I can't think of what it is right now, but when I go through it, I
Yeah,
go,
they're missing one.
these aren't not. Yeah. It,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. So it's like you're right. They're all just trying to copy. And it's crazy that you say that because when we first met, which was about, I think we pinned it down to what 2015 or 2016.
mhm.
Um, Instagram wasn't a thing.
No.
TikTok definitely wasn't a thing.
Mm-mm.
Um, Facebook was really hot. And I don't even think Twitter was really like popping like that at
Yeah.
that time. I mean,
No.
it was
Because it
probably
really,
just
really,
bubbling up.
Twitter really popped off during COVID. Like,
Hmm.
because TV, the news channels instead, well, Trump came along in that
Yeah.
whole era and he was tweeting all the time. And then people, once you saw on the news that they had Twitter handles, it's
Yeah.
kind
You
of like,
just go and check that.
it's a thing now. But really
Yeah.
during COVID, it really took off more and during the Trump era. But yeah, TikTok has changed things. Are you on TikTok?
I am. I swore
You
I
on book?
wasn't gonna get on it, and I
I
yeah,
know.
are you on there too?
See, I believe the government when they said China was trying to spy. And
Oh,
so I
yeah.
didn't get on because I was like, what? And people, it wasn't out there really that, I was like, I know I heard this and I know it's real. And people were treating me like I was some kind of conspiracy theorist. Well, then now the FBI came out with the announcement that,
Ooh,
okay,
yeah.
government computers cannot be on TikTok and none of your devices. And so then it was like, okay, it's real.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, it's
I
not
jumped
just
off, but
right.
I kind of want to go back on.
Yeah. And I I I I do believe it. I guess I'm kind of a little double-minded on it because I feel like, even things like I have an Alexa
Oh
and
no, you
it's
got
creepy.
Alexa?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's creepy because I'll be having conversations and I swear it's nothing that I typed in my search bar, but I'll
Mm-mm.
get on that computer and then I'm
Mhm.
starting to see ads about conversations that I've had. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what's going on? So I know that I guess what I'm trying to say is
Everything
if I
is.
didn't have TikTok, it would be Alexa
Mhm.
or it would be,
Yeah.
something else.
Mhm.
But yeah, I got on it just because I feel like in order to get that exposure,
Mhm.
um, is unfortunately you kind of just try to be now I'm on Snapchat, but I'm just not that active on it.
Okay.
But I have an account, but I don't really post on there that often. But TikTok is fun. When I first got on it, it was pretty addictive. It's just
Yeah, it
funny seeing
is.
all the crazy things people post and
And they're so creative. Like,
yeah, they are.
wow. And I haven't figured
Mhm.
out how to edit properly. So it just takes a lot of time because then you got
Yep.
Twitter,
Hmm.
you got Facebook, Instagram,
Instagram.
you got
Yep.
Snapchat. I don't have that. But like having something for all of them is just a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And then it's like I try to stay away from being that person. And sometimes if it's a big announcement, I will post it everywhere.
Yeah.
But um I don't want people to follow me on all those platforms and feel like,
You're getting the
oh, well, I don't
same. Yeah.
yeah, the same content. So
Mhm.
I try to switch it up a little bit. Like sometimes I'll post something on TikTok that I never share outside of TikTok.
Mhm.
Vice versa, like for Instagram, Facebook, but it's hard because it's a
Nice. Yeah,
full-time job itself doing
that is.
it.
You're doing a lot. You're making a lot of extra work for yourself.
Right.
That's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So tell me more about your Aries. What else you got on that list, the Aries?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Because I interrupted
So,
you.
no, no, you're fine. But a lot of the things you had kind of already hit on. But one of the things, another thing they said is that, you know, Aries are very independent. They typically don't want to ask for assistance or they don't require assistance because more than likely they're going to do the job right themselves.
Hmm.
And also, now this I thought was interesting. They said that they listed this as a potential drawback for Aries is that sometimes they move so quickly that they may make the wrong decision because they're just so quick to like, let's go, let's go. Is that, do
Yeah.
you think that's true of, I was about to say Aquarius, of Aries?
Um, no, but I can see how it could happen. That it's
Really?
a bad thing that you move too fast. I think we're gonna make it work regardless, but we could probably in hindsight go, I could see how I could have maybe done things differently, but we're gonna make it work, you know?
Right, right,
Yeah.
regardless.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, and then let's see, another thing on the list. Oh, no, this was interesting too. So they said that sometimes Aries um can be a little, and I think this could be a lot of people though, because I feel like this is kind of true of me, not so much Aquarius, but it says that Aries can be very sure of themselves and their surroundings in a professional setting, but
Mhm.
not so much when it comes to love.
Hmm.
Do you think that's true?
No, I don't think.
Really? Okay.
Depends on who they're with, and like what that person is bringing.
Okay.
I think it might have just been the men I dated, you know what I mean? Rather than me not being sure of myself.
Right. Okay.
They weren't
Okay.
sure of themselves.
Themselves. That's what it was.
Okay, that's what it was.
You were sure, right? So speaking of dating and compatibility, so this kind of hurt my heart when I saw this. So it says that these are the signs that I guess you could say that Aries either loves or hates.
Mm,
So on the I'll do the bad ones first. So
mhm,
they said that a lot of Aries actually don't get along with Aquarius, and they didn't say like in a romantic way, but they said that Aquarius people tend to hurt them. But based off of our discussion, that's I would guess that's not the case because you said you don't
mhm.
really know too many Aquarius people, so
No, and
that's
my
probably
best
not true.
friend is an Aquarius. We
Yeah,
realized. Yeah,
so
and
that's
she
wrong.
didn't hurt me. Mm-mm.
That's fake news.
Yeah, fake.
So
And like you say, the sun, the rising, and the moon sign
it's
thing might
Leo.
play into that too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it definitely could.
Because you're heavy
Um,
Leo.
yeah, I
You're not
which I didn't
really.
realize.
Yeah, you're Aquarius, but you got that heavy Leo going on. So I don't know. You might be
Yeah.
more of a Leo than you are
The
an.
Aquarius. I might need to change the name of the podcast for season
Yeah.
2 now. The Lion Bear. That's what it'd be. No.
Hmm.
But it's funny you mentioned that because it says that the most compatible signs for an Aries is Leo is on the list, Libra, and Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Do you think that there's any
Mm,
truth to that?
I don't think so. Those are on the list of don't likes,
Those are on the list of actually compatible signs.
compatible signs.
Mhm.
That sounds boring.
All of those signs.
Mhm.
Now, one thing I will say. Now, I don't know. I've never. Well, I say I'm about to give some stuff away.
I
I've
never
never
dated
been in a
Sag,
serious
and
relationship with a
apparently
Libra. Hmm.
Sages are, spicy or something.
Yeah. Now, I was just
Libras
about to say
boring. And what was the other one you said?
Libra, Sagittarius, and Leo.
Leo doesn't seem like a good match with me.
Really?
Because if I'm in Aries and I'm first and I'm independent and I got that Leo rising going on,
Uh huh.
where's how's he gonna give me attention if he's getting the attention?
Well, so you know what's really funny? And I'll say, and then there's also, well, I'll say this first. So you said your ex-husband was
A Virgo.
Virgo. So Virgo was on the list as kind of like a cautionary sign for Aries. It was from what I read, it was saying that basically
Oh
um
no. I should have read that before.
they could have saved yourself some trouble. Huh?
Yeah.
But no, it says that Virgo um let me see how do I explain this what I read. They basically were trying to say that I think because Virgo is kind of known to be a little nitpicky or
Mm,
have great balance, or at least they have the reputation of having great balance in their lives, that sometimes that can be annoying for an Aries.
hmm. That wasn't it. That wasn't our.
Said no, that wasn't the case.
Oh, that
Okay.
wasn't the case.
But yeah, it's so the Aries Leo thing is interesting because so you know how I was telling you my grandmother was an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandfather, her husband was a Leo.
Hmm. How'd that work
And
out?
let me tell you, okay, so and they both passed on. I mean, God rest their souls, but I just gotta keep it real and tell the truth.
Mhm.
They
Yes.
argued like cats and dogs. I mean, they argue, but in the back of my mind, I never really saw the lovey-dovey stage because I think by that time, they had been married like, 30 something years. But they so I guess what I'm saying is there had to have been love or something that kept them there.
Breakup to makeup.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know because they stayed together and that was consistent years. They never got a divorce, anything like that. They stayed together, but yeah, they were an Aries and a Leo. But to your point, I always felt like growing up watching them, there was always this power struggle because
Mhm,
Leos are I think more outwardly dominant, and I think an
mhm,
Aries is more, and again, I'm not, saying this just because you're on the show, but I think that's one thing Aquarius and Aries have in common. It's kind of like that. We both had that you're not going to tell me what to do energy, I feel like.
mhm.
So, and my
Yeah.
grandmother, she had a way, she would bite back and she would fight back, but if she didn't want to argue, you weren't going to make her argue. If it
Mhm,
was something she didn't want to do, you weren't going to make her do it. In fact, as boisterous and as loud as my grandfather was, he actually was a little bit of the softer one of the two, if that makes sense.
mhm.
Because my grandmother was more like, "Hey, I don't want to do it. You're not gonna make me budge. Your tears ain't gonna move me to do it. Like I'm just not, I'm not gonna do it." So I
That's
mean,
cute. That's real
yeah,
cute.
right, right. Yeah,
I
she
can
used
see
to.
that.
She used to have
Uh-huh.
this thing. I would hear her talking to her friends because she was like really into reading the Bible and things like that, like a lot of, especially like during that generation, like a lot of
Mhm,
grandmothers were. And I would hear her on the phone talking to, whoever her friends were. And she was one of those people. And it's funny, you mentioned that about your mom and about people saying what they're gonna do and it irritates you because that irritated the heck out of
mhm.
my grandmother too. Because she wasn't that friend. You might get a listening ear out of her once or twice, but if you came to her with the same, if you done already told her 2 times, the 3rd time, she's probably about to let you have it because
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
she would I remember she would sit on the edge of the bed and she had kind of long hair, so she would be like rolling up her hair and she would be like, "Yeah," and she would be cutting them off in mid-sentence. And she'd be like, "Yeah, well, I think you just need to read what thus said the Lord." And then the next couple minutes is click, and then the phone done hung.
Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
she didn't.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, if I
Lord.
was walking around in their house and I heard "Thus said the Lord," I'm like, "Oh, a hang up is coming."
Ooh. Oh my God. I might have to
Yeah,
steal that one.
yeah. Might have to use
I have
that, huh?
to steal it.
Yeah.
So who am I compatible with then?
Well, it says it according to this Libra, Sagittarius, and Leo.
I mean, not compatible with.
Now that was the thing. It didn't really say specifically a certain sign that you just weren't compatible with. It did mention
You said love and hate.
Aquarius can be hateful sometimes or hurtful sometimes.
Mhm.
And then it said that there could be tension with Virgo. But I thought that was interesting too, is that there weren't any signs that I saw that it just said, ooh, stay away from them.
Hmm. Is that
Yeah.
just for an Aries because Aries gets along with everybody?
That's
Or
kind of how I took it to be because when I was reading for some of the other signs, there were definitely some matches. It was like, no, this is a train wreck. Like, no.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's a compliment to Aries that, you know, you're able to have that kind of connection probably with a lot of people.
Now, why would an Aquarius be hurtful to me?
I kept trying to look that up and I couldn't find anything. Now, the only thing I could think of is, and this is why I say Aquarius has a little bit of that Gemini energy. I think a little bit because I've been told this before. So I'm usually like pretty nice and even keel, whatever. But if I'm really, really tired or really, really hungry, or usually
Mhm.
tired, hungry, or hot, one of those three, then
You gonna hurt my feelings.
I mean, and I don't mean to, it's just I think if I'm in one of those modes, then I don't have the patience to, and it's not like I'm sugarcoating any other time, but
Mhm.
it's just I'm probably just going to be a lot more blunt
Mhm.
if, and then I don't realize till after I've said it, and it's like, oh dang, okay, well I didn't mean it, like So that's the only way I could see that being
Mhm.
taken. But yeah, they didn't. I need to research that some more because they didn't really give a lot of information on it.
Mhm.
They were just saying that Aquarius could be, potentially hurtful
Mm.
towards Aries.
I wonder because, like, my best friend, she can be a vindictive little something.
Oh, really? Uh
Mhm.
oh.
You don't want to cross her because she'll pull out the knives. Okay,
Oh, ooh,
she got here
uh-oh.
too.
Yeah, Aquarius is like, I feel like there is another side that comes out. Like if we get really angry,
Oh no.
it's bad. I'm ashamed to say, but it's true. It's true.
See?
Yes. Yeah. So, oh, and this before we close, I do want to play a game with you.
Okay.
And this game is called Dead in the Water. So I think I maybe had mentioned some of it a little bit before, but basically, how this game works is it's this or that type of answer that you'll give, or I'll give, I should say. And so I'll give you like rapid fire answers. See one that you can do without. So the one that you can do without is the one that you would essentially.
Aries are indecisive. That's one I forgot about. So
Oh,
we'll see
really?
how I do. Yeah,
Indecisive?
I forgot
Oh,
about that.
okay. Well, I
Indecisive.
will tell you this because I've had some people tell me both, or they'll say I can't choose. So if you feel like
Yeah,
that, that's cool too.
I'm sure there's gonna be some of that. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try to give you a this or a that.
Okay. All right. So the first one we have is author or speaker. Which one would you throw back in the water if you had to?
Author.
Oh, really? Okay, so you prefer the speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
figure.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need some tips. Okay, I'm gonna be calling you then for speaking
Yeah.
engagements. Because I
I
would
was
throw
just thinking
speaker in the
speaker
water in a
as
minute.
more lucrative. I don't know. You know,
Huh.
you got to
Yeah.
sell the book. We talked about
Well,
that.
true. Yes, that is true. It takes more than just writing it. So yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
choice. Yeah, I can definitely see
I'm gonna
that.
get paid if I'm a speaker. I'm gonna come in for an
Hey,
hour and get $10,000. Really, that's it? No.
right, right. Exactly. Okay. So the next one is bite your tongue or speak now and apologize later.
Speak now, apologize later.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Really?
not
So
real
you would
good
rather
like
bite your
that.
tongue? Mm.
Oh yeah, so I'm throwing in the water. Bite your tongue.
Oh, okay, okay. That's what I
Yeah.
thought it was. Okay,
I'd
okay,
rather speak now and apologize later.
okay,
I
okay,
gotta say the one that's dead in the water. Okay,
okay.
I got
Yes.
it. I got off
Okay.
track. Sorry.
No, you good. All right. So the next one is tea or coffee.
Tea going in the water.
Oh no, really? And see, I'm such the minority on this because I love the smell of coffee. I can
Hmm.
smell it all day, but I just don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, I love the
Yes.
taste of coffee, and depending on where I am and the mood I'm in, I can have tea. It's just different. It's
Just
weird.
yeah.
But
I
I'm
can
for
understand that.
both, but right now I'm really on coffee.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. But I like to have options.
Hey, that's right. That's cool. Which is interesting because most people I know don't really like both. So that's
Hmm.
interesting that you could be in the mood for both. So that's pretty
Yep.
cool. This next one, I'm really interested to see what your choice is going to be. Michael Jackson or Prince? Who you throwing in the water?
That is blasphemous. How am I supposed to choose? I'm gonna have to say neither.
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 But
Okay.
I mean, it depends on why we're throwing them in the water.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
scary thing too, probably. I need to know why and explain and need all the details.
Okay.
But
So, for any reason, would you throw either one of them in the water over the other?
I'd probably throw Michael Jackson in. He
And
had
why
some
would that be?
hits though,
He did.
he's a little different, a little weird, but he's very creative, just a little weird. And Prince
Oh,
is
Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Yeah, Prince is
Prince
weird
is
too,
also
but
a little weird, and he had lots of hits. Not as many as Michael Jackson, but he was more, I would think, naturally creative. If I
I
say
totally
that,
agree.
you
hmm
know.
Yeah,
So
to be honest with you, I agree 100%. If I had to choose between the two, and I love them both, it would
mhm.
be Michael Jackson for me because I feel like Prince has more albums that or more music that I can just play like back to back. And even
Mhm.
even though I know people have the influence of Michael Jackson now, but when you think about like Outkast, Alicia Keys, I'm trying to think of other people like TLC, a lot of the peak artists and groups that I like, I feel like they're heavily influenced by Prince,
Mhm.
and I feel like Prince has a lot more subtle influence with a lot of today's artists than Michael Jackson does, to
You
me.
think so? Subtle.
Uh-huh.
It's subtle
Yeah,
because
subtle. It's subtle.
they're doing Michael Jackson, and they like
Yeah,
are trying
outright
to
with it.
be
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the last one. Okay, so Taco Tuesday or Wind Down Wednesday? Which one would you throw in the water?
Wind down Wednesday.
Okay. For the taco, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I mean, because I think if I go have a Taco Tuesday, there's some margaritas involved.
See, I
Right?
like your thinking. That was
We're gonna
exactly.
have a party here, okay?
You don't need the wine because you got the margaritas. Boom.
And I love wine, but wind down for what?
You want to turn
You
up,
know?
right? Right.
Yeah.
What we
I'm
winding
only
down
a
for?
turn up person, okay? I get it.
That's
I
another
love
trait I would
wine.
say about
Yeah.
Aries too. Y'all are a good turn up sign, like
Yeah,
party,
yeah.
lively. Okay.
I'm totally YOLO, turn up,
Yes.
everything.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Yes. All right. So cool. So we are near the end of the show, and I just really um appreciate you for coming on and sharing your testimony here with us. And is there anything that you want to share with the listeners and the viewers? Anything, words of wisdom, anything like that, or
No, I don't really have much. Yeah. Thanks. You said so many great things about me. Gave me my flowers
oh
and all
yes,
that. So
you deserve it. Well deserved.
yeah.
Well
So
deserved.
They can just find me on all the social medias platforms that you mentioned and check out my story. It's very inspiring. I'm a fighter
Yes, it is. Mhm.
and I'm just going to keep on keeping on. So
Awesome.
there you
Okay,
have
I love it. I love it. That is totally awesome. And I don't know what's going on. It's like somebody else has popped in here. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh.
bring her in. I don't know who this
Mm.
could be. Hey, it's Candace. What's up,
There
Candace?
Hey, how are you doing?
How are you?
Hey,
I'm
I'm good.
Hi, Carla. Hi, Carlos. And let
good.
me take my glasses. I
Hey.
broke my glasses recently, so
Oh
I
no,
couldn't
no, I'm
see
sorry
it
to hear that.
before coming on, but now, yeah, you guys are
Good.
bigger.
Well, yes. Hey, well, Candace, this is Karla. Karla, this is Candace. Both names with a K, both Aries,
Oh, good.
Both
both
Aries.
Oh,
really,
Yes,
really great women.
yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, both survivors in your own right. And
Yes,
so Candace, thank you too for joining.
absolutely.
And have a special announcement, and I'll let you have a word here too. So, for those that have been watching this show, you know I've been premiering episodes. They've been set to premiere at a certain time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Thursday. This is the last episode of season one, and Candace will be my first guest for season two. So I'm really excited about that. Season two is kicking off on June 1st. So look out for that. We're going to take about a 2 month break. And also, we're going to be live this time. So I'm a little nervous, but we're going to be doing live shows. So you'll get to interact um, in the moment with your comments, questions, and things like that. And so, Candace, if you don't mind just giving the viewers and listeners a little bit of what you have coming up, some new things that you have in the works, anything you want to mention or talk about?
Okay. Well, thank you, Carlos. It's a pleasure to be joining you guys this
Oh,
evening.
yes, of course. You're welcome. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So I am releasing a book, Dreams, How I Woke Up in My Purpose. And Carla, listening to you and your story and how you're a fighter and how you're a survivor, that's really encouraging, and how you were bold enough to share your story. Well, I'm one that's now sharing mine.
nice.
And I don't know if you have the same thoughts, but when it comes to sharing our stories, it's not easy. I know you said you rather throw author in the water, and I think I would too. I rather speak. I like speaking; it comes naturally.
Hmm.
Um, but our stories must be told. So I'm really excited about this um, opportunity and this journey that I've been on to get this book out. Um, Once again, the name of the book is Dreams: How I Woke Up in My Purpose. And basically, I didn't necessarily want to write the book, but God told me to write the book, and that's what I'm doing.
Hmm.
After experiencing a series of dreams during a flare up with my multiple sclerosis, I have multiple sclerosis and also trigeminal neuralgia. For those of you who are not aware of MS, it is basically it's a condition in which your immune system is uh, destroying the protective covering of your nerves. It can be
Hmm.
painful. It can cause numbness, all sorts of things, vision loss. For me, it was facial pain on the right side of my face, which is trigeminal neuralgia. Excuse me, it's a chronic facial pain condition that carries sensations from the face to the brain. And so, with that, during a very painful time in my life, I was inspired to write this book. And basically, 66% of it was written in pain. But basically, I wrote it to inspire those who may find themselves as well in a trying time in their life, feeling as though they have no purpose or they have no sense of direction. Is to inspire those that you do have purpose and you do have life, because mine came from my pain. And
Mm.
so with
Wow.
that, I share my very personal and intimate accounts to help you understand your purpose as well. So
Very
um,
Love it.
and also bring
nice.
awareness to this and trigeminal neuralgia.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. We have to, as Black people,
Mm-hmm.
tell our stories more,
We
and
do.
share about these experiences and bring light to these diseases and chronic illnesses. So
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not, I found that, and I'm sure you can maybe attest to this, that it's not about us, it's for the other person. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if it was about me, this book wouldn't be going out, but it will go out.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, and to you too, Candace. I just really admire you, and back in the countrywide days, and we worked together. Just always thought you were so cool then, and then
Thank you.
know about your story. It just makes me think that much higher of you. So I just for
Oh,
both of you, I love what you're doing. Just your testimony and what you're doing for willing to be so vulnerable and then helping other people. I love that. Helping other people. And because at the end of the day, it's I do believe everything we go through is to help somebody else too.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Agreed.
Cool. Okay. Well, that is a wrap, everyone, for season one. If you have not already, again, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that. And then after today, you can't catch the drip every Thursday, at least until June again, but we'll have a couple of months off. But definitely still stay tuned to the channel because the channel will not go dead. I'll still be posting shorts and other videos along the way, but back on regular season June 1st. And Candace will be my first guest of that season. And Karla, thank you for closing out the show with such a bang for this first season. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree with everything with that Aries.
Yes.
You
Aries?
do? You agree?
Yes, yes,
Really? Yeah.
yes. And you want to
Yes.
know something? I want to add this. So I know so many Aquariuses. I've told Carlos this before.
Yeah. That's I do
You,
remember
my
you telling me that.
publisher, my
Yep.
son, my dad.
Wow.
I mean, it's endless. I could go on and on. But the thing about Aquarius is that you guys never get the bad memes. Aries, we get the bad memes.
See?
Yeah,
Really?
everybody loves an Aquarius, in my opinion.
That's good. See, Candace, I'm gonna see. I need to just take you with me, and so that everybody just be saying bad stuff about us. I'd be like, no, she say we're good because I feel like Aquarius women don't really catch it, but I feel like the men do.
Oh,
But which is
okay.
interesting because you have a lot of Aquarius men in your life, so
I do.
we're gonna have to dive into that.
I do.
On
I
your
do.
episode. Yes.
I told you.
So you heard it from Candace. Aquarius men, we all right. Nothing
You're
wrong
not
with
bad.
Yeah. Right. Well, yes. But thank you both so much. I really appreciate it, and thanks everyone for
Welcome.
being on this ride these last couple months or so with this podcast, and coming back season 2, bigger and better. All right. Thank y'all.
Enjoy your break.
Bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.